So this video is just going to be me telling my story. For the people that don't know me, and again, we have this on live too, so it's going to be raw, uncut, unfiltered. For anyone that wants to know the basics of my story, this is going to be 5 to 10 minutes of me giving you guys a dead serious breakdown of where I started, where my brother and I have been able to get to, and what this entire journey of entrepreneurship has been. And yeah, tune in. So this is my story. Who am I? Who is Luke Del Priore? Well, first and foremost, I think I'm just a regular person. I think that a lot of people on the internet put on an act and a frame for who they want to be when they're on camera versus off camera. But I would like to think at least that currently I am exactly who I say I am on camera and off camera. Beyond any of the funny content that I release, I value nothing more than my family. I stay as close as I can to my friends that I work with within my business, and I care about them more than life in itself because I want nothing but good for the people around me. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So even you guys just being here, I love you both for being here and helping me and supporting me as always. Anyone on the live that's watching it, anyone that tunes in, whether we have 5 followers or 5 million, I don't care. Because we're here to provide value and we want to see people do better. So that's where I'm at today, but let's backtrack. So I am 15 years old. This is before COVID hits. I'm a sophomore in high school and I probably have a 1.9 GPA. I have no idea what I want to do with my life. And all I ever got told my whole life was you have so much potential, but because you don't try, you never get anywhere. And I heard that my whole life. I heard that in sports. I heard that in academics. I heard that in everything. And this is not a sob story. I know people have it a lot harder than I do. This is just my story. So I always had a subconscious feeling of, am I a lazy person? Am I someone that isn't meant to have nice things? Am I someone that's not going to be successful? Am I not going to be able to be independent? All these preconceived fears that are starting to build over time and gain momentum. Because when you hear from friends, oh, that's just Luke, that's just how he is, he's stupid. Or, oh, Luke. And you have these preconceived notions. When you're alone and you're alone with your thoughts, that's when you start to sit on them. Like, do you know me? Like do I even know me? Right? So that was something that I battled with for quite a long time, just not feeling like I had any direction in life. I always wanted to do big things, but at this time, being 15 years old, I didn't have a great relationship with my brother. We weren't fucking arch nemesises, but in life, I felt like I was always one that hadn't been accomplished, especially because my brother was always, a hard worker. He was making strides towards his career in music. He was always an A student. And I felt like a lot of people had compared us to each other, and it was almost like I was a black sheep, and that's just not a good feeling. I don't know if anyone has siblings that's felt that, but it was always something that put a pit in my stomach because I'm like, I know I have what it takes to do something good. I just haven't found the right thing to do, and I always knew that. But when I have my parents telling me you should become a nutritionist, you should become a doctor, and I know that I'm going to be miserable in that office, I cannot get myself to do it. No matter how hard of a worker you are, no matter how independent you want to be, you cannot get yourself to do something that you hate, right? And that's why I was always the 1.9 GPA student. I was always the defiant one, the rebellious one. Oh, you have a problem with authority. That's all I heard my whole life. You have a problem with authority. You have a problem with authority. You have a problem with authority. Guys, I have mentors today. I look up to people that are ahead of me today. I respect people that are older than me, that are more accomplished than me today, but in the respected field that I wanted. When you take a kid like me who is not meant for a classroom and you're hammering the fact that I need to understand an equation of pi, and the only thing that I care about is how am I going to figure out how to make money and build a business when this is done, I'm not going to listen because that's not who the fuck I am, right? So up to that point, 15 years old, always just very lost, not knowing what to do. And no direction, right? I was smoking a lot. I would try to numb things out with, I don't want to say I was a drug user, but I would vape every day. If there was ever an opportunity to go out drinking, I would. I was just a very very naive, young and stupid, like most of us probably still are. So COVID hits and now everyone's home. So I said, you know what? Maybe now's a good time to try getting my life together somewhat. So I start working out every day. And due to COVID, me and my brother are now living together every day. So we're doing everything together. We're waking up at the same time. When the beach is open, we would go to the beach together every day. Then we would come home, we would work out together. We would go get food together. We ended up having mutual friends together. And I was able to build a bond with my brother like I never had. And that was one of the best times of my life. And I made no money at that point. Like, no one was working. The whole economy shut down, right? So now it's just me and my brother. And I finally have a connection and a strong bond with my brother that I didn't have. And I was very grateful for that because it's not something that I ever envisioned. It was never a goal of mine to say, I want to have a business with my brother and I want to be massively successful. That wasn't me because I didn't know who I was, right? But over COVID, we got very close. And we came to figure out we have a lot more in common than we thought. Dario was one that never wanted to be in the gym, but he would work for hours on his music. And then I was in the gym fucking 4 to 5 hours a day. And I was working hard at the things that I liked. Now I needed to find a middle ground of things that we kind of both liked so we could build something together. So fast forward, businesses open back up. And now it's senior year of high school. So I decide, you know what? My whole life I've been a bad student. I had a lot of anxiety and health issues throughout all of high school. Why don't I just stop going to school? Because this ain't getting me anywhere, right? I'm not going to go forward with college anyway. I might as well start working. Because the most important thing to me at that point was to make money. So I said, fuck it. I'm going to go get a job. So me and Dara both got jobs. He got a job in an ice cream store. I got a job in a restaurant and an ice cream store. And me and him would just work all week. And we were working together because we still had that bond that we built for the past couple of years. So we'd work in the ice cream shop together. And it was a blast. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, those were some of the worst times of my life. Absolutely not. I mean, some people believe in luck, some people don't. I would say the only thing I've ever gotten lucky with in my life is the fact that I was born with a brother so close in age that I was able to get close with. That's one of the biggest blessings that I've had in my entire life. And yes, you could consider that luck. Did it take work to build our relationship? 100%. But there is a level of luck that's involved there. So now we're working together, and at this time, simultaneously, I'm building a podcast. So I don't know if any of you guys remember the podcast, but we would invite girls on, we would invite different entrepreneurs on, and I had clips go viral. I mean, if you could go check my old TikTok page. I have clips up there. Within a week, we put up over 10 million views. Imagine, within a week, we put up over 10 million views. We gained over 250,000 followers. I mean, we had a big platform, right? So we built up this big platform. We're working simultaneously because podcasts are not as lucrative as people might think. And now we're just saying, okay, we have this big audience. We're meeting all these different entrepreneurs. Are we limited by the fact that we're working this regular job, making X amount of money per week, when I think that we have more potential within our own business? And we made the decision one day to say, fuck it. Maybe this isn't the right thing for us either. Maybe we need to quit work. We have enough money saved. We're not going to go homeless. Maybe we quit work, we work together, and we build a company. So we came up with the idea of starting up a local content creation business, which I want to pan the camera to Rudy. Rudy, the man, was working with us at the time. So how we started was this. We shut down the podcast to build a real business. And here in New Jersey, we said, we're going to go work with a bunch of businesses in New Jersey. And what we're going to do is this. It's fine. We're going to take the skills that we had from the podcast and we're going to go shoot content. We're going to edit it together and we're going to post it the same way that we did for the podcast, but we're going to do it for local businesses. And that ended up being a very lucrative play. And the money that we made off that first business is the money that's funded all of our other ventures outside of this. And those have also been intelligent plays and, smart moves for our future and for our career. So we scaled that content business to about $20,000, $25,000 a month in recurrent revenue. And that was a success. I mean, I know people are like, oh, there's no such thing as an overnight success, but really it was, because all the skills that we had to develop were already there. We had so many talented people working in the business, even though it was small. My brother's work ethic plus his skill set that he'd acquired throughout high school, working with Rudy, who's behind the camera now, in a program that taught them all the video and photo, plus me learning the business side, getting a proper accountant, trying to learn, the basics of how we could structure the business, how to acquire sales, basically made for a rainmaker, which is what I would like to refer to it as. We were bringing in money. For 17 and 18, 19-year-olds, we were all doing pretty well. So that was our first business. And if you guys are following the page, this is the business that I suggest all you guys start. Because without that first business, like being here right now is not possible. Because the skills that we'd acquired and the structure of that business gave us the knowledge that we could transfer into other companies. But that is a fantastic freelance business where you could go out and make $300,000 to $400,000 a year, learn sales, learn marketing, learn business, okay, and learn the skills that you need to build a personal brand and to build social media profiles for different companies, which is massively valuable. And you could take all those skills and transfer them into anything else that you want to do. So actively, if people come to me for coaching or for a mentorship or for what should I do if I'm just starting, how can I sit here and tell you that you should day trade when I don't do that? How can I sit here and tell you should get into real estate when I'm not invested in real estate, right? I can't do that. That would be me being hypocritical. If someone gave me, with the skills that I had now, and they said, here's $10,000, go figure out how to make money, I would restart a content business immediately. Because I know how quick we could get it off the ground. I know how quick we can make it profitable. And I know the kind of money that you could bring in. And that's why I advise you guys to try that type of business. Get out there, learn how to use a camera, go knock doors of local businesses and say that you want to take pictures and videos for them. Create a business, create an Instagram page, and start posting their content. And you will see quickly that businesses are willing to pay for proper photos and videos. It's a necessary asset to a business. It's not optional. If you take your business seriously, coming into 2024, it is a necessary asset for a business. And if you can provide that skill, there is a great product market fit, especially if you're in more of a city area, metro area where there's businesses around you. You have no excuse to not go out and make $10,000 a month. No fucking excuse. But I didn't mean to get sidetracked there. That's just a side note. So Darren and I had built that business with Rudy and some guys overseas that helped us as well. And it ended up being very profitable. It was a great business. We chose to shut it down strictly because of the scalability. If you're someone that wants to go out and make $300,000 to $500,000 a year, it is the best business to do it within, in my opinion. It is the best vehicle to make $300,000 to $500,000 a year within your own company. We shut that down because we had a bigger goal, which is where we are right now, right? Establishing a personal brand, and you only have 24 hours in a day. To try to take that business and replace employees and make it sellable and make it scalable just wasn't something that we'd wanted to do at that point. But it's not that I wouldn't advise you guys to go out and do it, especially if you live in an area like Florida, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. There's so many businesses, so many. The East Coast, even the West Coast. I mean, there's literally millions of businesses, millions. So you need sub 0.1% of the market to go out and make 6 or 7 figures. It's a no-brainer. So we decided to shut it down, and we built, instead of a content marketing agency, we built an advertising agency, which was, we're going to go out, and instead of doing content in person, we're going to do and take more of a virtual approach just because of the scalability of it. And we're going to run paid advertisements for companies through their social media platforms, and we're going to get paid a monthly fee to do so. So basically the premise of that business is this. Say you own a solar company. I come to your solar company and I say, you're doing $5 million a year in revenue. I believe that I have what it takes to get you to $10 million a year. You set up advertisements, you set up digital funnels, which are going to help promote the business to locals, make them inquire, and help them, drive more sales and add more revenue, right? So that's the model of that business. And if you go out and you do that for a lot of businesses, you can make a lot of money. if you take a share of whatever you're going to help them earn, or you charge a monthly retainer, or you charge per appointment. There's so many different ways to structure that, but it can be very profitable if you structure it correctly. And that's the business that we run today, right? With some of the content that still goes on in the background. We still have some of our old content clients that we work with. And month to date, we're consistently clearing over $40,000 a month. Guys, 2 years ago, and I believe we'll be able to send this to the editors. I'll sub in some of these clips. I will put up a video on the screen now of me basically manifesting what we have now when we were making no money when the business had no clients. By the time I turn 19, on my 19th birthday, we're going to make $100,000 at the very minimum. 100K float into Social Flock. And we're not allowed to give up on this project until it makes 100K. You agree?
Yeah.
Shake on it. Put it on God.
On God.
On God, I will not quit this project.
On God, I will not quit this project.
So that should go to show you that even just being here now was a dream. Like this in itself, and I said this to you the other day, talking to my friend who's behind the camera, like this was a dream. All I said in a video of manifesting, I want one day for me to say I'm going to work and I just open up my laptop. And now I know that we've built enough skills to where as a 19-year-old and my brother as a 20-year-old, we have enough skills to where I never have to go to work. And I love what I do. And it's a freeing feeling, especially when I know I could go travel where I want. I could work from where I want. I could earn as much money as I want. I have all the skills that I need and all the resources that I need to stay consistently profitable and scalable. And it's a very good feeling. And I want you guys to be able to experience that too, because this feeling and this community is more powerful when we could get more guys doing this and more girls doing this, because I'm not a one-trick pony. I'm not a unicorn where this just magically happened to me and it fell in my lap and I have these rich parents. That is not the case at all. Everything that we've been able to do, we did from scratch. So whatever situation you're in right now, whether you have $1 in your bank account or $100 or $100,000 or $1 million, I don't care. But for those of you that I'm going to speak to with this message that started where Dario and I started from, which was you're lost, you're confused, you don't know what to do, I would advise all of you to give this a shot, because I haven't looked back. And the reason I haven't looked back is because I had a proper team in place and I had enough talented people around me to keep us on the same mission. And when you have a good team and you have good people around you and you treat them the right way and they treat you the right way, it's a very freeing feeling, because you're building opportunities. You're building wealth for not just yourself, but for other people as well. And even if you're not building wealth for them, you're giving them income to help them, build something that's going to be good for the both of you, right? And there's so many different opportunities that will pop up when you start a business. So I don't want to be the only one that experiences this. I want all you guys to be able to experience that. And I love my days now. Like, there's so much fun stuff that we can do in a day. And all these things have been opened up because of money. Right? The traveling that we did recently, going on a trip to Florida, having a blast. That was a great time. Going out and spending a couple $100s on dinner with my brother or, different team members that we have and not really batting an eye at it. Like, these are things that you cannot do without money. So does money buy happiness? I mean, that's neither here nor there, but I will say that there's experiences that I would have never been able to have if I didn't start this business. If I would have just stayed where I was in that lost position and said, you know what? I'm just going to keep working and maybe one day. No, at some point you have to grab the bull by the horns and say, no, today's the day. Today's the day that I get my shit together. Today's the day that I figure something out so that I can build a better future for myself. And sitting here now talking to you through this camera, I want you to really hear this message. It was all worth it. It was all worth it. And we're just scratching the surface now. We're not even a 10th. We're not even a 100th of where we want to be. And so far, I can say that it's all been worth it. So I'm extremely grateful. And with that being said, that's my story. That's what led me to the point where I'm at today. And if you're someone that feels like maybe you're a little bit lost or you're confused and, you don't know where to go in life, you don't have much direction, I hope that at least touches you in some kind of way to where you feel as though there is hope for you in the future, because I promise you're not going to stay in that dark position. You're not going to stay in that place of not knowing what to do if you decide to get a grip. And if you decide one day to, like I said, grab the bull by the horns and say, today's the day that I'm going to make that change positively so that I can experience a better future. I love you guys. Genuinely from the bottom of my heart, hoping that all of you guys do as best as you possibly can, even if it's not building a content creation agency. I don't care what you do. Hope that you guys stay healthy, happy, live as prosperous of a life as you possibly can. And like I said, if that could just touch at least one person or give one person hope, then it would have all been worth it. So that's my story. Now go build yours.